Now that you have the MADUP Pro device, let's take a look at the first steps to get it up and running. After ensuring that the device is positioned on a flat surface at hip height, turn on the device. To do so, press the button below the display for 5 seconds. Release when the button flashes. The device will then turn on. Select the desired language, French or English. The home screen offers you 3 work phases: post-op, rehabilitation, and performance. In each of them, you will find a suggestion of different protocols. Depending on the condition and goals of the patient you have in front of you, you'll be able to select the most appropriate protocol and then program its application. Let's take a brief look at the protocols. The free protocol allows for discovery and experimentation. This session is entirely customizable. The bed rest protocol is indicated for post-operative use and helps to avoid or reduce muscle loss during a period of inactivity. The MADUP protocol facilitates general muscle strengthening and helps anticipate muscle loss. The endurance protocol is particularly useful while recovering after a sports event. It's also highly recommended for countering sarcopenia when used with a walking or cycling session, for example. The Feel Better protocol creates a pain-relieving effect for those with cases of chronic or acute pain in the joints or tendons. The Challenge protocol allows you to test any endurance progress. The next step is connecting the tubing. To do this, insert the tube on either side of the MADUP Pro, up to the end point, indicated by the coloured mark on each tube. To avoid any air leakage, do not hesitate to apply some force to correctly insert the tube. To remove the tube at the end of the session, press the edge of the connectors while pulling the tubes towards you. Once you've selected a protocol, it's time to configure it. Choose how many sets of exercises will be performed. You will see that depending on the protocols and their length, you might be imposed a time limit. Select the correct limb, arm or leg, and the side you'll be working on. Left, right, or both. Between different sets of exercises, you can choose to pressurize or depressurize your rest intervals. Keeping the cuff inflated while resting does further optimize the work done during the session. At this stage, you can customize your metronome and add, if you wish, a sound effect. By default, the metronome is set to 2 concentric seconds and 2 eccentric seconds. According to the scientific research, this rhythm provides the most efficiency. You can now place the cuff over the limb or limbs you want to work on. Position the cuff firmly, making sure it is adjusted to the root of the limb. The connectors must be placed on the outside of the limb and facing upwards. As a safety precaution, remember to leave enough tube length for the cuff connectors when in use. The calibration phase can now be initiated. Carefully follow the instructions on the screen. This step must absolutely be carried out in the lying down position. The user must remain perfectly still, without even the slightest contraction, and not speak for 40 seconds. This process allows the device to analyze the user's physiological data. The heart rate and muscle density will determine the minimum occlusion pressure which will be applied to the exercising limbs. Once calibration is successful, select the desired pressure level and place yourself in an exercise position. When you press OK, the device will take 10 seconds to recalibrate and set the occlusion percentage for that position. If the device indicates that calibration has failed, check the positioning of the cuffs and tubes. After these checks, run the calibration again. At this stage, you'll both see and hear the rhythm of the metronome to follow and observe your progress in real time on the screen. You'll be aware of the following information: the number of reps remaining and the total exercise time, the blood pressure curve, the device's battery level, as well as the percentage of occlusion pressure during exercise. This percentage can be changed during the protocol. If necessary, an emergency stop button is accessible at all times. Pressing this button will immediately depressurize the device. If no movement is detected for several seconds, the device enters safety mode and automatically deflates the cuffs. Once the protocol is finished, the device will start the next protocol after a 1-minute pause. The device will gradually depressurize the cuffs before displaying a statistical summary of the completed session.